Bamboo People, Epilogue, Chiko, page 257. A rickshaw carries me home. My heart starts beating faster as we get closer. Mother doesn't know I'm coming. There has been no way to get the news of my discharge to her before my arrival. I know she'll embrace me, leg or no leg, just as the old Carini man told me. But how will Lee like watching me shuffle around? Will my new leg be repulsive to her? Sometimes it is to me. When I take off the prosthetic to wash my stump, I have to choke back my disgust. I'm not always successful. I've lost even more weight thanks to the limited amount of food I managed to keep in my stomach. As the house comes into sight, I try to remember Frodo from The Lord of the Rings, who lost a finger on his journey. No hero comes back unscarred, I remind myself. I'm still the same Chico, inside, even though I'm stick thin and disfigured. I'll have to convince Lee of that. But somehow I'll have to believe it first myself. I hitch up my long yi a bit so they'll see my leg right away and I can get the bad news over with fast. The rickshaw stops in front of the familiar house. I'll be back with the fare, I tell the driver. Why didn't I run more with my feet when I had both of them? I should have sprinted, jumped, leaped, danced, skipped, bounded here and there like a rabbit. Now I limp slowly to the door, but it flies open before I reach the threshold. And Mother is with me in the path. She's crying hard and holding tight to my arm. You're so thin, Chico, she says when she can finally speak. I can't wait to start feeding you again. What? I've lost my leg and all she can think about is food? Maybe she hasn't noticed. They made me a new one, Mother, I say, pointing to it. I know, my son, I know, she says. And then to my amazement, she tosses her standards of appropriate behavior aside and stoops to kiss my Carini leg, right in front of the gaping rickshaw driver. The door flies open again, and I can't believe my eyes, because Ty runs out of the house, our house, and hurries past us to pay the rickshaw driver. Mother, embarrassed over her show of affection, gets up. Don't tell Chico anything until we're all inside, Ty, she calls, and disappears into the house. I figure she's probably headed straight to the kitchen to start boiling rice. Once the driver is satisfied with his fare, Ty races back to clasp my hands and gives me that familiar grin, but it fades as he catches sight of my injury. Oh, no, he says. Your leg, Chico, your leg. It got me home, I say, but it should have been me, not you. Don't be an idiot, I say. I don't have a sister to protect. Where is she anyway? Inside, because your mother asked us to stay there. He tells me as we walk to the door. He moves slowly to match my pace. I told you she would, I say as we walk inside. So what's the big news? I can't say anything until we're all in the room, Ty says. Your mother will want to see your face. I'm just putting the rice on, Mother calls from the kitchen, making me smile at how well I can predict her actions. I'll be there in a minute. I'm curious, but I'm so glad to be home that I don't mind waiting for whatever the big announcement is. Everything in the house looks the same, from the white elephant on the wall to the table and chairs set for dinner. Sawadi comes in carrying an extra plate, and she too stops to stare at my leg. Can I touch it? She asks. Certainly, I say. She puts the plate on the table and raps the prosthetic with her knuckles. Hard as a rock, she says. If you kick someone in the head with this thing, you'll kill them. We laugh and Ty seems to relax. Now Mother's there too, handing me a glass of juice. Quiet, Sawadi, Ty says. I have to tell Chico something. I'm working at Army headquarters now, and you'll never believe this, but the front door flies open again. It's Doll Widow, of course, coming to inspect the commotion. She sees me and stops, tears coming to her eyes. It's the first time I've ever seen her cry. Even more amazing is that for once she doesn't seem to be able to say anything. Doll Widow speechless. This is truly a day to remember. Mother rushes to her side and they cry together. And then I catch my breath. Lee, the sparkling, colorful, real-life Lee, comes into the house looking more beautiful than ever. Her eyes travel down to my leg and back up to my face, but she's smiling. Happy tears in her eyes, too. Not a shred of disgust in sight. You're home, Chico, she says. I'm so glad. Doll Widow wipes her face and takes a deep breath. Ty told us how brave you were, she says. Well done, boy. I knew you had it in you. My leg, I start again. Why doesn't Doll Widow see it? Why do I have to be the one to point it out? I know, Doll Widow says. Noticed it right when I came in. It's not bad. Rubber, metal, and plastic, right? Who made it? They don't care about the leg. The old man was right. The Carini, they saved my life. If I want to keep my promise to Tu Ray and let all of Yangon know, telling Da Widow is a good place to start. She turns to Tai. Did you tell him the news? She asks. I tried, Tai says. I've been trying. Well, tell him now, boy, Da Widow says. It's all you're doing anyway. Suddenly, everybody's talking at once. At first, I can't understand anything they're saying. Then I hear Mother's voice chiming like a temple bell above the others. Your father. He's coming home, Chiko. What? I can't have heard her right, can I? Again, they answer at the same time, making my head spin as I turn from one person to the other. Tai found out where he was. I went to see him right away. He was so ill, Da Widow convinced them he'll be released in a month, Chiko. A month. I don't say anything. I can't. Instead, I take my precious photos out of my pocket. You kept those safe all this time? Da Widow asked. The flesh and blood Lee is here now, with a face full of love. I hand her photo back to Da Widow. Thank you so much for that, I say, but I prefer the real version. Da Widow and Mother exchange significant looks as Lee smiles at me. I'll keep the other photo until Father gets home. His image sustained me through everything I endured. I gaze at it again, remembering how Tu Ray said he saw the same expression on my face. I glance quickly at my reflection in the glass of the white elephant picture. He was right. I see it now, too.